So we finally have our first look of Islam Makhachev going up to 170 pounds. A video was released from Usman Nurmagomedov showing Islam training ahead of the fight that's going to be happening this weekend. It's rapidly approached. Like, I felt like this fight was so far, but now we're here. It's happening in my city. Will I go? Still TBD. I probably not, because these tickets are insane. But Islam Makhachev is going up to 170 pounds, and I have been someone that has been constantly for the past month been, I guess, fear mongering the Islam Makhachev fan base into thinking that Islam maybe isn't doing this the best way. That Islam Makhachev, keep in mind, guys, there were talks of him fighting Ilia Topuria back in June, so he must have been preparing to go to lightweight. That isn't so much time to prepare going up a whole new weight class, a whole nother beast. Jack Della Maddalena looked good against Bilal. He definitely has shown holes in his game, like the Gilbert Burns fight and different fights like that, but still, I think that Jack Della Maddalena is a huge threat to Islam Makhachev, and I have said for months that I confidently thought that Jack Della Maddalena would knock out Islam Makhachev, just because I felt that Islam Makhachev, the weight, gaining all of that weight, I didn't feel like he was going to do it naturally. But seeing these images, I mean, I definitely feel a lot better about Islam Makhachev going up in weight. And to me, I feel like this is the weight class where he belongs. A part of me wondered, was he just pressured to go up because Ilya was going up to 155, and, UFC don't want Ilya and Islam to fight because they'd rather two superstars. Let's be honest. That is definitely the reason, right? So I wasn't sure really if Islam wanted to go to 170, but to be fair, he's been talking about this his whole career, and he's talked about the fact that fighting at lightweight, he's only 60-70%, that he's not all the way there, so it made sense for him to go up. Islam Makhachev, there's this video now of him training, and he looks insane. He looks way bigger. I mean, I want to break down in a second kind of the differences that I noticed in between the two physiques, from him in his last fight to now. I mean, granted, look, he hasn't fought at lightweight in a while. He was preparing in June, but the actual last fight was January, so I would hope that he was preparing the whole time. He clearly was not. Like I said, he was down to fight Ilya in June. Apparently there was a signed contract already, or not, maybe that wasn't a signed contract, but there was a deal in place. Like this was per his manager, Ali Abdelaziz. This is literally from his manager's mouth. I thought maybe he was doing what we've seen fighters like Max Holloway do and say, hey, look, I'm already a big featherweight. I'm already a big lightweight. I'm just not going to cut weight. So let me just fight a weight class above and think it's all good. That is always a huge mistake. And I thought Islam was doing that from this picture. However, I do think he actually did it correctly. It looks like he cut the weight in this past month, maybe losing weight, trying to get a more shredded physique. So, his cardio would actually hold up. And that is my biggest concern about moving up a weight class is you are, especially a guy like Islam, he's definitely going to try to grapple Jack. This is a much bigger guy that you are not used to grappling. This is a guy that you're going to get way more tired when just trying to control him. This is a stronger dude. Like, Jack Della Maddalena has also been training with Craig Jones. Craig Jones was trained with Volkanovski. When Volkanovski fought Islam, Volkanovski's training with Jack Della Maddalena. I mean, it is literally in the stars for Australia for them to beat Islam Makhachev this weekend. But Islam's physique does look good. I think the biggest differences that I see, at least, is the chest. I mean, his chest is definitely a lot more muscular, and his sides. His sides are a lot bigger. I think his shoulders, too, are a lot bigger. I'm sure his back also. I mean, his back was already really, really strong. I mean, he had a super muscular back, not to be observing the dude's body, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. This is just the job here, right? So we got to really inspect here every single little nook and cranny of Islam Makhachev's body. And yeah, he definitely looks bigger, all right? It doesn't take Sherlock Holmes. It doesn't take an expert like myself to tell you that Islam did get bigger. But will it make a difference? Will he actually be able to fight Jack Della Maddalena? Like I said, that is a different question, because even when you cut the weight properly, we see many times fighters that are even undefeated fail. Like Israel Adesanya went up against Jan Blachowicz. Aljamain Sterling hasn't had as much success at featherweight than he did at bantamweight, and he's not even fighting for a belt. This is Islam Makhachev going up a weight class. Like, we've seen time and time against fighters go up and fail, because like I said, cardio is a huge concern. And for me, we've seen Islam Makhachev kind of slow down at times in fights, like the Dustin Poirier fight. He showed some vulnerabilities there. I know that there's arguments whether or not he was injured. And Islam Makhachev looks amazing, especially in the first, 2-3 rounds. And this isn't to try to compare him to Hamzat, okay? It's not like this guy is Hamzat where he gets tired right away and he starts huffing and puffing and that's that. No, he definitely has some good cardio. Not only does he have good cardio, he is able to push through when, he really needs to. He's willing to get tough when he needs to. Look at the Poirier fight. So while that is a good trait when you're up a weight class, I don't know if it's going to work. Here's what my prediction is, and what my prediction has kind of been. I mean, I think Islam Makhachev will do good early. I think he's going to take down Jack Della Maddalena. I'm not sure how well he's going to be able to control Jack. I actually think if he controls Jack, it might even be worse for him. I think the best plan for Islam is to feint the takedowns, really play a calculated game on the outside, because I feel like, Jack Della Maddalena, what he wants to do is make this ugly. He wants a think, Islam to go for takedowns so he could try to land those knees, try to land, dirty boxing punches in the clinch. You know what I mean? And even down below, I think he's going to try to exhaust Islam Makhachev. Islam's going to try to submit him, I'm sure. And Jack could make it even more difficult for him. This is a guy that's even bigger. He's used to fighting 155-pound guys. This is Jack, and I think he weighs probably like 190 when he fights. That is a huge difference. So you're going from really like 165, 170 guys, 20 pounds more. That makes a difference. And in this little of a time, too. John Jones, when he moved up to heavyweight, and yeah, heavyweight is a lot bigger of a move from heavyweight to light heavyweight than lightweight to welterweight. Of course it is. But even himself, he took 3 years to build up the weight, which I'm not saying Islam needs to take 3 years, of course. What I fear for Islam in this fight is I think it might go like this. In the beginning, like I said, Islam, I think he will control Jack a little bit. He'll get him down to the ground, and maybe he'll get tired. And if he gets tired and Jack is pushing the pressure and he is pressuring Islam, getting him go backwards, which we know Jack wants to do. That is, the obvious game plan against Islam, right? It's easier said than done. But if he can defend the takedowns and Islam's getting tired and, Jack doesn't feel as much as a threat with the hands and all that, we've seen, look, Islam doesn't have the best chin. Right? He got dropped from Volkanovski. He got knocked out early in his career, which, look, everybody gets caught, so I'm not even going to hold that against him. It more has to do with the recent fights with Volkanovski. Even Poirier, even Renato Moicano made Islam slip when they were fighting. It wasn't a clean knockdown or anything. Those things could look bad to judges, and when you have a boxer like Jack Della Maddalena, he will find those positions. And I think maybe as the fight goes on and as the fight keeps going on, we're going to see Islam get tired. I predicted a 4th and 5th round knockout. After seeing these picks, though, I don't know, man. I really think it's going to be a split decision now. I think it's going to be a split decision. I think that Jack is going to do well later on in the fight. Early on, I think Islam is going to do well. I think it really depends on probably the 3rd round, kind of similar to like Merab Umar in a way. Obviously, I'm not saying Jack has the cardio of Umar, but there's a chance even that maybe Islam tires out Jack. I'm curious how Jack is really going to perform because, look, I'm Jack myself, so I got to support the other Jack. So I'm really pulling for him here. And yeah, he did do a good against Bilal. There was some good moments for Bilal too, though. Keep in mind, it wasn't all 100% Jack Della Maddalena that fight. Bilal did, have some moments. It wasn't easy. And Islam, I think, is better than Bilal. I think most of us probably accept that. Islam is way better than Bilal Muhammad. Islam is a way better fighter. I think that he can get Jack's respect on the feet. I don't think that means, I'm not here saying that Islam's a better striker than Jack, but I think with mixing the takedown, I think we can see Jack be hesitant, going backwards, kind of forcing himself to play the game of Islam, and maybe Islam gets points that way. And Islam also, keep in mind, he has some decent striking. Like, I'm not saying he's a shit striker. I've said this many years ago. I think I said this maybe one of my first videos on the channel. Islam Makhachev has the potential to be the greatest of all time. And this weekend is his chance, to really put himself in that. If he beats Jack Della Maddalena, becomes a double champ, I'm not going to say he's the greatest yet, but if he defends his title again, maybe fights Sean Brady. I know there's talks of Ian Gary maybe getting a title shot. There's also, how could we forget, Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates fighting on the card. There's also Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. A lot of welterweight fights. So even who gets the next title shot is all up in the air right now. It really depends on, once again, when they need these fighters, when there's, a venue that needs to be filled. That's how the UFC operates. It's no longer what's the best fights. It's where are we going? When do we need a fight? What's the easiest fight to make? And let's move on with their life. And that is why we're seeing a lack of stars. We're seeing a fall off of stars, a fall off of interest, is because people don't care about locations. Yes, the UFC is getting money. TKO is getting money by going to these locations, but fans aren't as invested anymore. And that is what we're seeing. I hope that this fight, though, this whole fight card is enough to, liven it up, because UFC 322, it's a great card from top to bottom. I might do more. I'm going to be live tonight, guys, so you guys can go talk to me there and, just ask me my thoughts on the card. I'll probably be predicting way more fights, probably more videos this week talking about the fights, guys. Let me know what video you guys want to see next. Check out my last video where I talked about John Jones dissing Tom Aspinall, also apologizing to Dana White, begging to be on the White House. You guys are the best fan base in MMA. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share, and I'll see you guys in the next one.